Supposedly we have 1.3 million getaways that we know of. What is your estimate of the people that we don't know about that got away?
My confidence level in that got away number continues to increase. Is it 100%? No, sir. At 385,000 got away so far this fiscal year, we continue to refine that number.
Chief, I have limited time. I just need a number. How much more do you think got away that you don't know about?
Probably be between 10 and 20%, sir.
More?
Yes.
Well, that was Florida Congressman Carlos Gimenez at the House Homeland Security Committee's field hearing in McAllen, Texas this week. That happened on Wednesday. He was questioning the Border Patrol Chief Ortiz on the number of illegal migrants who have gotten away that we know of, and what would he expect on top of just the numbers we know of. They remain completely unaccounted for. They're in this country. We don't know what their intentions are, but we know that they did not want to be apprehended. Congressman Carlos Gimenez joins me right now with more. Congressman, thanks very much for being here and for your leadership on this subject. Tell us why this is important for Americans to understand the got-away part of this.
Well, those are folks that don't want to be apprehended. The majority of the migrants coming through, they actually follow signs. It takes them right to the Customs and Border Patrol agents, and they turn themselves in, knowing that, in all probability, they're going to be allowed in the United States. There's 1.3 million that we know of, and like the chief said, there's another 10 or 20%. I actually think that number is a little low. I think it's even higher than that. That got away, that don't want to be detected. And they got away. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they came from. We don't know where they are. And we certainly don't know what they're doing here or what their intentions are.
So there's another element to this, and that's the people that have been apprehended that were actually on the terrorist watch list. So that's another element where we know that people have been apprehended that are actually on the FBI's terrorist watch list. That number is outpacing last year's record so far this year. Border agents have stopped 69 people between the ports on the FBI terror list, bringing the total now to 182. That's just since 2021. Only 8 people were apprehended who were on the terrorist watch list between 2017 and 2020 for 3 years, Congressman. So I guess potential terrorists and criminals are figuring out that America's border is wide open. I'll get in that way.
Oh no! Even the chief, and I got to give him kudos for his courage. He told us that out of the 9 sectors that he controls, the Customs and Border Protection agents, have 5 of them are out of control. He has no operational control on 5 of the 9 sectors in our southern border, which is in direct contradiction to what Secretary Mayorkas has been telling us for 2 years, that no, that the border is under control. The chief in charge of all those agents has said and told us under oath that 5 of those sectors are out of control. So basically, no, not basically, the secretary has been lying to us for the last 2 years. So
do you want him impeached?
Oh, yeah. No. I mean, this secretary is a disaster. The border is a disaster. He's appointed by President Biden. He should remove him. But I believe that actually he's doing President Biden's bidding. So I think President Biden is really happy what's going on at the border. Because another question that I asked is, is the president dumb? Is Secretary Mayorkas, are they dumb? The answer was no, and I don't believe they are dumb. And so they've been told over and over again the things that they have to do in order to control the border. They refuse to do it, which means they want to do it on purpose. So this is all done on purpose. The reasons why they're doing it on purpose, I don't know. And by the way, those terrorists that we know we got, they were apprehended. How many terrorists actually getting through that are gotaways? If you're a real terrorist, I don't think you really want to go and get apprehended. I think you want to get away. So whatever that number is, over 89, 90 that we have apprehended, you can probably triple that on the gotaway side, at least.
Well, I mean, look, there's also the China component, because now communist China is not just abusing our visa process, but they're actually sending individuals in through the southern border. I spoke with the founder of the Atlas organization, Jonathan Ward, earlier on Xi Jinping's upcoming meeting with Vladimir Putin. Here's what he said.
Xi Jinping's on his way to, have another round with Putin on their comprehensive strategic partnership of coordination for a new era. I mean, this is a deep relationship, as we've talked about for a long time. It's very clear whose side China's on. And you add this to Xi Jinping's own very recent speeches where he's talking about U.S. containment and suppression of our country and that sort of thing, and his foreign minister talking about how we're on a path to conflict. I mean, it's very clear what they're doing. I mean, a Russia-China axis is forming. This has been about a decade in the making.
Congressman Gimenez, you're also a member of the House Select Committee on the Strategic Competition between the U.S. and China. There's an op-ed this morning out from Fred Fleitz, and he says Chinese officials knowingly permitted COVID-19 virus to spread around the world. State competitors don't deliberately spread deadly viruses. This president will not call China an adversary. He keeps calling him a competitor.
No, look, our select committee says competitor, but no, they're an adversary. Look, a competitor is somebody that's playing the same game by the same rules. China doesn't play by the same rules. They don't follow the rules. So that's an adversary in my estimation. And I'm going to be proven right. They totally are an adversary. They are not. What China does is not in the best interest of the United States. We need to decouple from China as quickly as possible. We need our allies to decouple from China as quickly as possible, because we're actually feeding this monster, feeding the dragon that wants to devour us. And we better wake up. Good thing is, I think we've woken up, and I think our allies are starting to wake up, too, to the reality of what China really is and the threat that the Chinese Communist Party poses, not only to the United States, but to the rest of the free world.
Well, some of us may have woken up, but it doesn't appear that this administration has, because if so, they would change policies to set the tone for corporate America. Corporate America still wants the money. Yeah.
Well, there may be a reason for that, and I think our oversight committee with Representative Comer is going to be digging into why is the president so soft on China, and could it be that he has interests and his family has had interests and has been paid by the Chinese Communist Party and other nations.
Congressman, thank you. Carlos Gimenez. We'll be right back.